Here's a couple examples of some nailers that we might use in the shop. It's pretty common to have air-powered staplers and nailers to use occasionally in the shop. We want to make sure that when we are using these, we definitely want our eye protection and consider wearing some ear protection as well. We'll hook it up to our air hose. And then we just want to make sure that we're operating it safely. Similar to gun safety, you never want to point the nail gun at yourself or any other person. You want to know what is in the nailer. It can do different size of nails. On this one, there happens to be a button near the bottom here. You press it and bring it out. I notice here that there's no nails on the inside. If there's no nails on the inside, it still sounds like it's working. But there's not actually nails shooting out. So make sure that you've got nails loaded in. However, make sure that you know what size it is and that it's appropriate for your project. When you load in the nails, you want the head of the nail towards the trigger, and you want the tip of your nail towards the end of the barrel. And you load it in and slide it as close to that barrel as you can. Then you'll carefully close it. If you're not aware of what type of nail is in there, and perhaps it's longer than you think, you may end up nailing your project to the table or causing another problem. Nailers and staplers have safety mechanisms. On this nailer, there is a little guard right there, and the gun will not shoot unless that guard is pressed down. We would never want to remove that guard or disable it. We want to use that safety mechanism. On this pin nailer, this one has a double trigger. So you have to pull the safety trigger down and then pull the actual trigger for it to shoot. So just make sure that you're aware of what the safety mechanism is and to use it safely. If you're going to put nails into a project, I recommend making some sort of line or mark on your project. There's a line on the tip of this that shows you where that nail is going to come out. When you place it on here, I have my finger off the trigger. I place it where I want it to go, and then you can go ahead and nail it. Typically, you want to be sure that it's straight up and down, okay? So I don't want to be here and I don't want to be here. You want to be aware of where that nail is going to go so that when you shoot it into your project, it's not sticking out the other side. If you're not careful, then you may have a nail sticking out the side of your project. Doesn't look good, and then you have to deal with fixing that problem. When you're done using the nailer, then disconnect it. Make sure it gets put back in the correct spot and reel the air hose back in. If you keep those safety guidelines in mind, then you'll be safe as you're using nail guns and staple guns.